Today we'll be showing you how to replace the OEM steering wheel for one of our LED race steering wheels. So we're going to go through the steps and what you need to do. So the first thing we need to do is remove the airbag. Make sure you disconnect your battery first and then come over here to do the airbag system. Now underneath, if you look down here, you have two holes, one here and one on the opposite side. You need a screwdriver, get the right angle, and then you will feel the spring release. So if you push onto that spring, it releases the top up here. You see that? And then over here, the other side, same thing. Push, airbag release. Now the airbag can come off. Now if you look over here, this plug, obviously we need to unplug the airbag. So all you need is a small screwdriver. Push on the tab and then it releases. That goes out. And then you got the second connector over here for the controls. If you can see right there, all that this is pulls out and unplugs. Now what we need to do is take the steering wheel off. You need a 16mm socket, and obviously you need a ratchet. Now I have a big ratchet, but obviously you could have your normal one. Loosen it. Yeah. Take that off. We'll take the bolt off. That aside. Now we can pull the steering wheel out. Okay, next stage is obviously transferring all the trims. Now we're going to show you how to transfer the trims over for LED steering wheel. First of all, we have two silver Torx screws. As you can see there, I'm pretty sure these are Torx 25. I'll confirm that. Yep, Torx 25. So you need to remove these two silver Torx screws right there. Can you see? Yep. One there, and then one on the left hand side. Like that. And on the back of the wheel you'll have three Torx screws, one on the bottom, one on the left and one on the right. We need to remove all three. Like that. And now the trims can unclip from the top, bottom, and that's your center trim. The rear should also unclip. Take the buttons off here, like that. Guide the wires through from the back. Unplug that. Take those off. And then you have a Torx screw for the ground wire here. We need to take that off. Making sure you obviously don't lose this particular Torx screw, because that will be your ground connection. So as you can see, we've separated the steering wheel controls, and now this back trim will come off. Next stage is to remove the airbag base bracket. So you have three Torx screws. Remove these three screws. And that's the third one. And that's everything stripped off the old wheel. Okay, now we're on to the new LED steering wheel. We'll first of all put the airbag base on. Install the 3 torque screws. Tighten them up. Use this first. Second one. And third one. Just as a note, by the way, these are the 2 springs that release the airbag. So when you've actually put it through the hole, it releases it through here. Yeah, that's the 2 airbag spring retainers. At this point, I normally tighten it up properly. I use a socket fit. Sorry, this one. Making sure they're tight. That. That's the backing plate over here. That goes in the back. Like that. And then the steering wheel controls. Now notice on the new steering wheel, this is the new loom, which we'll be connecting up later on. First we have to put the controls back. Okay, notice where the wire is coming out for the LED display. Some of you might have an issue with fitting this back flush. So what we need to do is trim back on either side, here and here, being careful not to damage the cable. And then we pull the cable out like that. And then what we need to do is to get this cable tucked in behind here so that it's hidden behind the trim. And this little bit here, we need to try and trim back. Again, be careful not to cut the actual cable. This is only rubber molding, so use a standing knife or craft knife to actually trim it. You see, I'm taking that bit off. I think you only need to take a little bit off, and then what we do is tuck the cable behind there. What we're trying to achieve is a flat surface so that the button control can sit flush onto there. Okay, like that. So after you have put the steering wheel controls, the next stage will be to take the LED loom around the back there, and we need to be connecting up to this steering wheel loom what we're interested in is the red cable over here and the ground cable. So what we'll do is connect the red cable from the steering wheel controls to the red cable for the LED display unit, and the ground we'll just bolt on with the original steering wheel ground right over here on this point there. Okay, now all I need to do is strip this taping back a bit. Like that. Strip that back a bit like that. And then we twist it on to the steering wheel loom. Now, a lot of videos that you might have watched on YouTube, all they do is twist it on there and then tape it. But from experience, we've had issues where it hasn't been taped, hasn't been soldered on, and you are losing power to the steering wheel. Okay, what we'll do is solder that onto there. So what we do, making sure your steering wheel is protected, what we do is we'll solder on these two wires together, which eliminates the probability of it going loose. So right here. Okay. There you go. Tape the joint up to protect it. And what you can do is just tape around the whole loom again, just to make sure it's properly protected. That's that wire. Yeah. And the ground wire. We link it to there. And torque screw. And that's it. Next stage will be offering it up back to the car. Now we'll return the steering wheel, making sure all the tabs is aligned. Put the bolt back. Tighten that. Plug controls in. sure the wires are tucked in properly. Airbag in. And just clip the airbag back on. That's the steering wheel side done. The next stage is to connect the OBD module to the OBD port. As you can see, the plug is over here. What you can do is tuck this from the top. It may be easier for some of you to remove the trim totally, so you get better access. But if you fish it in through, you should be able to get the plug right through to out here. Like that. You should find a place for the module just behind there. All you gotta do is plug that into the OBD. Like that. I mean, some of you obviously would probably want this in a better place so that you can put the cover back, and that's another option. What you can do is dismount, take the whole trim out, and then dismount the OBD socket itself, and then you can place it inside there, because this module in its loom will have an OBD and out plug anyway, so you could always use that other plug for plugging in any other OBD devices such as scanners. Okay, the OBD module and the steering wheel should already be paired together from factory. So once you've completed everything, start your engine, your steering wheel should come on. See the revs are working, shift lights working, showing you water temperature and oil temperature. This particular obviously model's got turbo, so it shows you turbo display and their PSI. Fuel percentage and battery power. And then all we got to do now is carry out our own personalized